Hey, what's going on? How's everyone feeling? Yeah, so I just wanted to continue I'll talk about an old stream that I never quite finished up talking about DEI, and we've been talking about this thing that we've been calling the Great Awakening and the Great Correction. And the Great Awakening was this period from like 2014 to 2000, maybe 22, but the bulk of it was more like 2016 and 2020. That was like the peak. The 2014 and 2016 was kind of like the run up. The 2018, 2020 was kind of the 2020, 2022 was kind of the decline, but let's say the Great Awakening was 2014 to 2022, with the fever pitch from 2016 2020, and right now we've been talking about, and if you listen to the show, we've been talking about that now we're headed into the Great Correction. The Great Correction is like a lot of people are kind of sick of new wokeness or quote unquote wokeness, and all this stuff. I always say this, but this is gonna be a fast one. But it's kind of interesting to see it happen in like a million little ways, and but this is an article I want to talk about real quick. And I've done this thing about DEI and how things are like kind of turning sour for them. And a lot of that post George Floyd money is kind of going away and stuff. But I want to show you all something real quick. And this is part of the follow up I was originally supposed to do way back when, but I never did it. But I thought it was pretty interesting. But this is a great example. I mean, a big part of it is that there's a recession. You see all these layoffs. A lot of the funding money that was out here, everyone was running everything like a tech company. You just throw money at stuff. No one cares if anything's profitable. Just throw money at shit, and that has come to an end. People don't have the patience for it anymore. It's done. And hold on a second. Let me get this article up. I don't know why this article looks gray, but so be it. Let me just put it on the screen regardless. After Hollywood's Me Too reckoning, a fear Hollywood is regressing. The movement led to increased diversity and representation in the entertainment industry, but now there is worry that executives have turned their attention elsewhere. So just like the race hustle is kind of dried up for people who were jumping on it. A great example is that She Said um, movie with the Harvey Weinstein victims that kind of flopped. And a lot of people are speculating why it flopped. I think it kind of flopped because people are kind of sick of white women. They had their time in the sun, white feminists, and people are just kind of done with them. Like the Amber Heard thing, I think with Amber Heard, people were just waiting for a woman they could safely vent all their frustration on with what they felt was this kind of white feminist overreach where Me Too and all this stuff. So you're getting all these things now where um and you saw it too, I think, with the Megan the Stallion stuff. Like people are kind of pushing back against this believe victims thing. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's what I think it is. And they don't want to pick a wrong person to make the target, but when they find someone that's convenient to kind of cast doubt on, I feel like all the ones that they didn't feel comfortable doing it on before, that person like Amber Heard become or Megan the Stallion becomes like a lightning rod. They could find some holes in your story and everything. And I think a lot of that comes from this kind of being sick of what people feel like is a type of alarmism or overreach or over the topness. And it's not just men. People will paint it that way, but I think it's a lot of women are sick of women's bullshit now. And it's a very weird thing to see. Like just on YouTube, the amount of quote unquote red pill women or pick me Twitter types. There was a Vice feminism panel, and a lot of the comments were going in on the feminists and not the anti-feminists, to the point they had to turn off the comments. And that's how you know how they want things to go when they decide to turn off the comments. And to be honest, the feminists didn't acquit themselves very well. I think a lot of liberals and social justice types, because it's so good at constructing echo chambers, they're not very good in the moment of really defending their views. Even if a lot of times I think their views are actually more morally defensible, they're just not really kind of built for it. But um yeah, I've just noticed a lot of things. And that She Said movie that failed, that Harvey Weinstein movie, I just think people were not ready to just see that right now. Like something about these heroic put upon white women with Harvey Weinstein. I think a lot of people are just like, whatever. Like that Bill Burr Saturday Night Live um monologue that went viral. You're talking about, being sick of white women. But anyway, yeah, the Woman King got a lot of flack. A couple of years earlier, it was all about Dora Milaje, and that's probably why they greenlit that movie, thinking like, everyone's all into strong black women or whatever. And then when that thing came out, people weren't really feeling that, including even black people. They were calling it out for a bunch of like being revisionist, anti-male crap and everything. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I don't have. I want to make it clear. I don't have a dog in a lot of these fights. It's just something I noticed. But um, there was a lot of corruption with Times Up, and Me Too, and a lot of people don't know about it. But um, kind of imploded because they basically found out that it was basically helping accusers. They became fixers for accused men. Like they started using I'm gonna show you right now. But one thing at a time. So let's go back to this thing. Hey everyone, how's it going? Hit the likes if you're up in here. So, damn it, I can't get this article. Give me a second. I think I have to sign in to get this article to show correctly. Damn it. So this thing looks like it's paywalled now. It wasn't paywalled earlier. Give me a second. Hmm. All right, so I'm gonna switch over from that to something else. But I want to show you all this. And this is an example of why I think people are sick of all this stuff. The fatal elitism of Time's Up charity. The organization was too bound by political allegiances to deliver justice to sexually exploited workers. The Times Up Foundation, star-studded nonprofit concocted and bankrolled by power players in politics and media at the height of the Me Too movement back in 2018, has lived up to its name in recent weeks with a spate of high-powered exits. Board member Roberta Kaplan and CEO Tina Chen, resigned in August after it came to light that the two women played supporting roles in an effort to guide former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo through the sexual harassment scandal that ultimately prompted him to resign office. It was, as they say, not a good look. Not only did both advise the governor's office on how to best handle the allegations and discredit early accusers, Kaplan and other board members continued to do outside paid work for Cuomo's inner circle, even after several of his subordinates came forward to share their stories. And from what I understand, this wasn't the only example. They actually had been offering themselves as fixers for like several people. So basically, they were using their expertise and their good name as far as being like these authorities on sexual abuse and like feminism and everything to help people accused. It would be like if Black Lives Matter, which actually they kind of did. Black Lives Matter had consultancies for white corporations and racist organizations where they would come in and help your embattled organization that's being accused of racism appear less racist. They would be like fixers. Times Up was being that for gender. Like they would, if you were accused of stuff, they were kind of trying to use their expertise to help you, you know. So there were a lot of stories of that type of corruption. What Alyssa Milano did with how she treated Tara Reid after and giving these new equivocations of sometimes believe women doesn't believe all women and whatever. So I think by the time that She Said movie came out, uh, where they're trying to present these like oh these beleaguered heroic upper middle class white women uh you know fighting against this oppression, and with like Woodward and Bernstein, speaking truth to power, people were just kind of like we're, we're done with this shit, and I think it's going across the board. um Look right now what's happening with Patrice Cullors. Her cousin died and like nobody cares. It's crazy. I don't know if you guys saw this thing. Her cousin got killed by the police. Her cousin got killed by the police and got tased 5 times over and over, and it was heinous. It was horrible. It's recorded, and the outcry is so different than George Floyd. I mean, a couple of years ago, this thing would have torn the internet and America apart, and people just don't care. They'd rather talk about Elon Musk, and it's um it's pretty crazy because when you look at it, right? If this woman appropriated her funds correctly and actually created something lasting besides just these public temper tantrums that you could use to get clout later, like all these protests did not create a single mechanism or anything now that can help her cousin's death. Like they squandered. It's like a sad kind of poetic justice in a way. I don't want to say that because that's not good. It's kind of a, I don't want to say it's karma either. These are not good terms because it makes it sound like I'm glad that something happened to her cousin, and I'm gonna make it clear that I'm not. But it's kind of weirdly ironic and sad that um she did a lot to squander the goodwill of this movement and to squander all the political capital such that no mechanisms are in place, no structures, no lasting bills, nothing. And now something comes that she's actually seriously like upset about and passionate about, and no one's listening to her. And also, she bought all those houses. No one's really fucking with her. She squandered her whole organization. They can't publicly attach their name to the organization anymore because of how corrupt it is. Like right now, there's officially no officers in Black Lives Matter. No one wants to put the name on it because if they do, they're going to be open to the lawsuit. So they had 3 officers on their taxes with 90 something million in assets just for that year of income. And no one wants to put the name on it Um, all the three people are in various um, stages of being accused of misappropriating millions. And now, look, you got your houses, you got your notoriety, your reputation is all messed up. You wasted all this political capital. You didn't create anything lasting with it. And now someone near and dear to you actually dies, and you can't do anything. No one's even listening anymore. It's yeah, I don't want to say just desserts either, because again, it sounds like I'm happy something happened to the dude, and I'm not. It was heinous. It was horrible. You know what I mean? But it's kind of like the girl who cried wolf. I mean, whatever energy has flipped there, it's not the same. You're talking about nationwide freaking riots multiple times. And to say that all that energy, maybe part of that energy went to fighting things like Cop City, but if all that energy that we were seeing before was there, we would be seeing 24/7 coverage of Cop City in Atlanta in the news. Like, there's little pockets of that energy still, but as a giant movement, it's all um gone. It's it's shot. And these people and it's not just black people, the feminists have done it. Like I said, this thing with I wish I get the Times Up story to work. Maybe I'll do that another time. The other one, the one I was first trying to put up. But yeah, so these ultra connected women were supposed to pool their access and influence to push for gender equality. And something similar happened in Black Lives Matter. These privileged people instead took this movement and used it to get clout, money, power brokering, and getting their own careers. And this is a great point. The reasoning was flawed from the get go, as the actions of Kaplan and Chen now have made rivetingly clear. The type of elite professional woman who drove Time's Up mission often shared the same vested interest in the industry status quo as their male counterparts. And the same goes for the kind of privileged, highly educated black people who were in charge of these so-called radical movements. They had a lot of interest convergence with the corporations, the Hollywood studios, the government institutions. This woman Chen was Michelle Obama's former chief of staffs, and it wasn't worth blowing up her cozy relationships with allies of the Cuomo administrations over a few rumors of sexual harassment that could be more conveniently swept under the rug. Letitia James did a whole investigative report into Times Out Matter and Times Out and their allegations. And I don't have all the stories, but there were various instances that came to light of them working to help the people they're meant to help. And yeah, all these things that fall apart. We don't really hear about Me Too anymore. And there's other cases, the Angelina Jolie thing that happened with Brad Pitt. Look at us celebrating Brad Pitt at the Oscars, at the Golden Globes, Um, and some people on social media were trying to say, stop all this celebrating Brad Pitt. He's an accuser, and everyone's like, "Oh, whatever. We don't care. Who's not accused anymore?" It's rightly or wrongly, the bloom is off the rose with a lot of this, and it's kind of sad because there was so much political capital, there was so much mobilization everywhere, and it was squandered in every direction, and we're not going to get that back, not for a while. People are tired, and even like minorities, women, a lot of people are tired. It's some of like the most harsh backlash correction stuff I'm seeing coming from women. And these aren't like traditional conservative women or and I want to give you all a quick example. I'm gonna keep this short because I want to come back with that New York Times article. So I'm gonna wait, but check this out. I want to show you guys something. Um so I'm going to share this real quick. This woman has been going viral all over the place over something that she did in the gym. You guys might have seen her. I've seen this woman make it to YouTube, the regular news, Twitter. TikTok. She had to give a crying apology because of this horrible miscalculation. But check this out.
Excuse me? You don't have to do that. It's okay.
An approach girl.
So this woman, she's 21 years old. She has a Twitch stream. You know, she's the e-girl. That's the first sign already that nothing good's gonna happen with her. But she put this TikTok putting this guy on blast, and this is what was said. And this guy Joey Swole put her on blast, and it really backfired. But check this out.
This is how to not approach girls at the gym.
I hate this. I hate this. I hate when there's sweet eyes. It makes me so uncomfortable.
Now she's like freaking out with anxiety. Isn't it weird with like young people now? They're so anxious now about everything, and it's not totally their fault. Like I think the social media and the phones and all this stuff has kind of fucked with the normal development. But yeah, they have a lot of social anxiety issues. Now this guy's not staring at her; he's doing his own thing. But a couple times he glances over, and that happens in the gym. You glance over sometimes. Now, take into context, this woman's acting kind of batshit crazy. She's talking to herself like a weirdo, and she has a camera set up on a tripod. And when you're in the gym, sometimes you see someone doing stuff like that, doing all this stuff. Because the gym I work out, there's influencers that come in there sometimes. And sometimes I look over, I'm like, what these influencers are doing? I'm just wondering what they're gonna film. You know what I mean? Is it gonna be a skit? Is it gonna be, So she's struggling with the weight, and she's talking to herself. He doesn't realize that she's talking about him. But if you look, he's not doing anything particularly crazy.
At the gym.
I hate this. I hate this. I hate when there's sweet eyes. It makes me so uncomfortable. Feral. Like fucking feral.
And she put that in slow motion to make it look more lingering.
5 pounds. And these are the weights.
So she's struggling with these weights. She's been struggling with them for a while, and she's muttering to herself. So he probably thinks, while the muttering and cursing, she's muttering and cursing because she can't get the weights on.
You don't have to do that. It's okay. No, it's okay. I got it. Thank you, though.
So look what she puts on. And this is so crazy. What if I just ripped his pee-pee out of its socket so he can never reproduce again? This is why I don't want kids. Okay, that's really extreme. At 21, if you're thinking like that. National selection better take these weirdos out. She goes, he's going to jail for staring at an underage 21-year-old, which is kind of crazy. This kind of weird self-infantilization that like, people do now. Like you're 21, you're an adult. You're not underage worth, going to jail for. That guy wasn't like that old, but whatever. But let's continue.
See what I mean? All right, here we go.
I just want to share my perspective on this video. If you guys want to watch the full thing, you can go over to her page. First and foremost, as I've said before, there is a big difference between staring at somebody and simply looking or glancing at them. So why did this man look at you? Well, you're in front of him off to the side. You're in his peripheral. You're also taking a video with your camera pointed directly at him, and you're talking to yourself. He's probably watching you wondering, what is she doing? I know I would. Also, you talk about, why would this man come over and help me load my plates? Well, if you watch the video, he sees that you struggle putting plates on the other side. Now, any experienced lifter out there knows when you have a barbell on the ground, if you're doing hip thrusts, if you're doing deadlifts, it's very difficult to put plates on. There's actually a jack they make for you to be able to lift up the barbell so you can put the plates on. He sees that you struggled being an experienced lifter, and he comes over to try and help you because that's what kind people do. Any experienced lifter out there knows what I'm talking about. And I saw the comment where you guys talk about this was a man trying to help out a woman because a man would never help a man. That's not true. This is not misogynist. I've been in the gym for 20 years. I can't tell you how many times I've helped men and women load plates, take plates off, put weights back. It has nothing to do with sex or gender. You help people because it's kind to do. But it's very sad that you took an act of kindness, this man doing something for you, being kind, and turned him into a creep at the gym, talking about how you want to rip his reproductive organ off. He can't produce, and that natural selection should take him out? Really? Trying to make yourself out to be a victim, which you're not. There are women harassed in gyms. You're not one of them. You need to do better. Mind your own business.
So it went really viral, and what made her even dumber, she shared it on TikTok, she shared it on Twitter, and she got destroyed. It got like on Twitter, it got like 16 million views. But what was crazy to me was how many women were going in on her, and they were saying stuff like, "You give women a bad name, you're making us look terrible." And what I'm trying to think, my personal theory, I think a lot of black people, a lot of minorities, a lot of women, a lot of different people are kind of like, we want to vocally distance ourselves from these weirdos as much as we can because they're becoming a social liability on us. Like they're the opposite of political capital. They're like political albatross, social albatross. Like I feel like a lot of white people probably now, a lot of black people probably now, like, I want to distance myself from these people that kind of cry racism, like weird things, like saying like eating meat is racist or being fat is being fat phobic is anti-black, and look, this is kind of weird takes that pop up now, and these women in the gym acting kind of nuts about everything. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people should probably be like, look, I want to have friends, I want to have a career, I want to date. There's probably a lot of women now who are like, men are just gonna start not want to date women anymore and just go full MRA, MGTOW, if they start thinking this is what all women are like. Like, so I think part of it is like that. Like some of these women not even really particularly anti-feminist or conservative or anything. They're just kind of like, these women are just gonna fuck it up for us. Like I've seen like women complain that men don't approach anymore, for example, and I've seen people start complaining about these women are the reason why. I saw all these like interesting kind of comments, but she was getting destroyed everywhere, and the women were coming at her as hard, or if not harder, than the men. But this is what I found very interesting, and I want to show you all this, and then we're gonna end it with this. Oh, she had turned off the comments everywhere. So this woman posted this: going to the gym as a new. She quote tweeted that girl, and she said, "Going to the gym as a newbie is already hard enough because you feel like people are staring at you. I can't stand women like her. This is the kind of content I like. She do anything to prove no one cares in the gym." Now, this woman isn't the one who made the video, but this is when the woman who's dunking on her, and she's putting an opposite video to kind of show like, oh, I like content like this,
Have you walk
where the woman is normal, right? So this woman posts this video that someone else put, and check out this video, and it's kind of a answer to women like her.
around the gym doing random things to remind yourself that nobody cares?
I could literally, do a squat here. Yeah. Then I could go over here. I'm gonna flip this tire. And then I'm gonna flip it back. And then I'm gonna grab a sandbag. I'm gonna flip the sandbag, come down, jump with the squat, throw it down, do a cheeky push-up. And no one's watching me at all. Absolutely no one has looked at me the whole time. I promise you guys, nobody gives a flying fuck about you in the gym.
So you see that, I promise you guys, no one gives a fuck about you in the gym. She's showing all this stuff to kind of show how silly it all is. And, one woman quoted her just to show, how bullshit it was. And, okay, that's great. But this is what is really, really funny. this is what's really funny. She's the one who actually kind of started this trend, right? Check this out. Someone said she's the one who started this trend. Y'all forgot she did the exact same thing to black men, and that wasn't the right tweet. Let me share the right one. Yeah, here it is. So somebody pointed this out. Um, somebody pointed out that she's the one who kind of started all this. She literally set up a women's only gym to get women away from the gym creeps. That is indeed some rebrand going on. And here's her actual Twitter. That girl. This is what her old content was a couple days ago. This is January 12th. And here's what she said. Asking the girls who came to my women's only gym how they felt training with only women.
Asking the girls who came to my women's only gym how they felt training with only women.
It was so lit. I was able to push myself outside of my own comfort zone and obviously watch other people step out of their own and help them as well. Like, it just felt really good. Energy was there.
The energy was really good. Managed to hit BP.
I went in there after her. Like, yeah,
I really enjoyed it. It was kind of nice being around like-minded women who have the same goals as you. Don't get that experience in my normal gym.
Sometimes in my normal gym, I just feel awkward, and I'm always thinking who's next to me, who's behind me, who's in front of me. But here I'm just I don't even care. I could fall over and I wouldn't even care.
It was really fun. It was nice because I usually work out alone most of the time, so it was really.
Now I have no problem with creating a women's only gym, but for context, she was doing all these videos filming black men staring at her in the gym and feeling threatened in the gym, and she went viral and started this women's only gym under the pretense that the gym was way too stalkery and rapey. I don't mind the idea of creating a positive space for women. It's that she specifically made it around the fact that it's too threatening to be around men all the time. And I found it really, so to be fair, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the female only gym and the positive space. It's the context of why she originally created it. So I find it interesting that she's now making a show of, there's nothing wrong. I find that interesting. I don't know. And she's not saying that it's silly to think people are looking at you in the gym. Maybe I gotta see more context, but in general, I just think that there is something happening where people are just wanting to distance themselves from what they feel is this social justice influencer movement going too far. And I just think it's become kind of a socially radioactive to be part of that. And I think the people who are going to stick with it are going to kind of double down and spiral. And I'm kind of curious as what's going to happen. But yes, exactly what it is. It's hedging content. And Salam said this, and I agree. There's nothing wrong with that gym. I don't think there's anything wrong with the gym. I'm just talking about what led to that gym and the different stuff she's kind of posting kind of now about no one's looking for you, which was not the messaging that she was doing before that, so that's the woman did that last year. She accused black men of looking at her in the gym, and she got totally destroyed online again by a lot of women. And I just find it very interesting that there's gonna be, I think, a lot of this going on. There's Latinos making a big deal about speaking out against Latinx and want to make people know that they think it's stupid and we're not the Latinx type Latinos. It's kind of like a type of anti-virtue signaling. I want people to know I'm not one of those black people. I'm not one of those Hispanic people. I'm not one of those women. I'm normal. Don't lump me in one of those people. So yeah, I'm kind of curious where this is going to lead, because I think it's I think it's very interesting and weird in its own way. So, yeah, that's basically it. I said I was going to keep it short. And also the main article I wanted to use to discuss, I couldn't get to work because of weird paywall issues. So, yeah, support the show. Hit us up, Venmo or Cash App at Champagne Sharks. Hit us with the likes. Likes always free. Subscribe. Leave a comment. Even the comments just say hey or you suck. Um, she might have been. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I just know that she went really far with it. She is the one who had the weirdo try to put the mat under her. Um, that dude was indeed weird. To be fair to her, if she's the same woman with that dude, it was indeed weird. But she did go really far with it and milked it, and used it to kind of get clout and push a women's only gym. Yeah. So anyway, take care, everybody. Talk to y'all soon. Be good.